Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. However you happen to be watching and or listening to this, I want to welcome you to the latest episode of the Gaming Circle podcast. The podcast where this week, as you can see, we are down one on the second chair, but we, of course, up. I would call him the petulant one, but, we haven't gotten into that yet. You'll understand what I'm saying. Anyway, of course, I'm your host, Mr. K. Asante, TK Asante, and all the places we're communicating these days. That mainly is on discord.gg/TGCP. Mr. Everborn Saga will not be with us this week because he had some family things pop up. Shout out to Mr. Everborn Saga. He'll be of course returning promptly. But of course, this week we are joined by I would say an unofficial second chair. He joins us. You may not be able to catch him online because he chooses not to be there and he tells you not to follow him. But when he joins us, and he's in our Discord, when he joins us, he always has something to say. I call him the petulant one. Lucius Augustus, great member of our community, also a great writer on our Gaming Circle channel. So welcome, Lucius. How you doing this morning, sir? Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, everyone. I last night was a bit rough, but I'm here.
Oh boy. You want to get into that?
No. But I'm here.
So there have been times where you've been on the show, and every time we feature you on the show, there are people who will write in the comment section like, "Man, I can't stand this guy and his takes." I'm looking forward to the comment section.
Whatever.
I'm looking forward to the comment section this week because we love having you on here. We appreciate you being here and having and bringing your takes on here, especially after you've had a rough night. And Everborn Saga, is not able to join us, so you're pinch hitting. We appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for being here.
And if you don't like my takes, come to the Discord.
Let's get into it.
You can have that conversation in the Discord.
We can chop it up, indeed. All right. So first and foremost, once again, thank you to all the wonderful human beings that pull up every time we do this show. I see y'all in the chat. Hey, the usual suspects are in here. I see y'all. Infinite Umbra's in here, Six Slayers in here, MJ Dark. What's going on, fam? I hope y'all are doing well. We'll be in the Discord later, but thank you guys so much for pulling up this morning. Hey, even early, we saw Web Dave in here. Thank you, Web Dave. Shout out to the great Soil Tech, who's always in here, always moderating. Keep your eyes on him, because if he ain't acting right, he gonna come and cut you, and he is anointed to do so. So be on your best behavior. But anyway, let us get this thing started like we always do. Lucius, I know that usually we start this thing and we start talking about the games we have been playing, but you were telling me that you on some other stuff, right? You have not really had an opportunity to play much games, not because you don't want to, not because you haven't had the opportunity, rather, but because you've been on a gaming block, if you will. You want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah. So every now and then, something in life takes you away from video games. And if you've ever had a time in your life where you don't really have any other responsibilities outside of yourself, then you could just end up playing too much video games. And then when that happens, you just got to go take a break and go do something else in life. So that's the portion that I'm doing right now. I'm going out, touching grass, interacting with other people, drinking. and but also I'm doing other things. I'm watching some TV shows. I'm trying to catch up on movies that I'm still late on. I'm trying to read some manhwa, which is some Korean manga. Yeah. So I've been doing other things outside of playing video.
Very nice. Okay, very cool. Hey, look, here on this show, we understand that even though we are the Gaming Circle podcast, we understand that culture is expressed in many forms, in many ways. It's not always strictly locked to controller in hand. So from time to time, you got to go outside and breathe a little. It's all good, absolutely.
The newest season of Reacher also dropped.
Yes, sir.
And,
okay.
And
I need to catch up on that.
They dropped three episodes all at once. So I've caught up on that, and it's so funny because every single season, Reacher has like a new hot girl that like
that he doesn't care about.
Yeah, that they force the story inevitably forces them to hook up.
Yes.
Typically that takes like a good amount of episodes before that happens. This season, by episode 3, it's already happened. You're like, God,
going down. Hey. Stop the spoilers, man. You're spoiling it right now. You're not, see, look what happened. Look what happened. Oh my God. Oh man.
So it's a spoiler to tell you that like Reacher ends up with a girl. It happens literally every season. Every single season it happens.
But now we know it's episode 3.
I'm saying by episode 3. It could happen in episode 2. You don't know.
MJ Dark was first in here. He said, "Thank God Everborn is not here to spoil things." I guess it's just the curse of the second chair. I'm sorry.
Maybe.
Oh man, no, but I actually been wanting to catch up on that show. It's really, really good. It's really good. Like I'm a big fan.
I think that show has what I typically call the Guardians of the Galaxy effect, where you are not expecting much from it, and it's much better than you were expected, and so because of that, it like hits a higher echelon than it typically would. And that's how like the first season of this show was for me, because I wasn't expecting Reacher to be like super good or something. But it's a much better show than I expected, like significantly much better.
It is. Yeah. Absolutely. To the point where you look forward to the seasons, right? And unlike the other seasons, unlike the other shows where eventually the novelty wears thin, it just continues to be strong season after season after season.
Yeah.
Have you gotten to the season where he has a friend, a female friend, and I'm not talking like a sexual
Yeah. So like Neely was introduced pretty early, and my roommate told me about this. He was just like after this season ends, apparently like literally the next week, it's either the next week or the week of, they drop a new
show of hers,
Neely, which is where she's doing investigations and all that. And originally I was like, this is just Amazon trying to find a way to make a secondary and tertiary show and whatever.
Of course.
But I do like her character.
This is the point. Yes, this is the point.
The show has taken enough time to show that she is very competent. Maybe not as competent as Reacher, because she isn't a 250-pound walking mound of muscle, but she's incredibly talented with like investigation stuff, because she's a hacker. She can get into anything, and she's also really good with like guncraft. So like if she gets into a gunfight, she's gonna win.
It's almost like Reacher is if Reacher was Master Chief, then Neely is her right hand, is his right hand rather.
Yeah.
And no one else even stands close to their level of, capability, as we'll put it. But no, it's really interesting. It's really cool. So I need to catch up on it. I saw the trailer for Neely. I was very excited, because you have that happen where you're watching something and then they'll introduce the character and you'll go, hey, that they should actually do something with her, and then you'll not think about it, and then I don't know, 6 months, a year passes, and they go, hey, here's the show from that character you thought of.
Apparently the executive producers had the same thought that you did.
Exactly.
See, I never have that thought, so whenever we get secondary shows like this, it always surprises me. Like one series, and I swear everybody will start talking about games soon.
Yes, we will.
One series that did this to an extreme is Big Bang Theory, because you had Big Bang Theory, which I was not the biggest fan of that show, and then you had what is it called, Little Sheldon, or Young Sheldon.
Yeah.
Young Sheldon.
Yep.
So you had Young Sheldon, and then after that, there is another spinoff that's called like someone in somebody's first marriage. It's essentially like I think Sheldon's brother and like his first girlfriend, they end up having a kid.
The thing is, I never liked that show in the first place, and that show bothered me every time I saw it because I felt like it was disrespecting me and mine. So every time there was another, I know. So every time I saw an iteration of it and they kept ringing it for more juice, it just like irritated me more and more and more and more. I have never ever liked that show.
Yeah, like I would say like the first 3 seasons of Big Bang Theory are exactly what you described, which is why I didn't like it, where it used nerd culture as a bludgeoning tool more than anything else. It would just constantly hammer on that all the time. And it'd be like, and the joke wouldn't even be like nuanced to be like, oh, this exact thing about this character. It'd be like, these people read comic books. That's the joke. And it's like, what are we doing? You're like, what's happening? I was not a fan. Yeah. But then what happened is that like things like Iron Man came out, like essentially the MCU became forming, and because those sort of comic book movies started
became the new cool
popular,
yes
you couldn't just make fun of those things anymore. They couldn't just be the punchline for your joke. So instead they started writing the characters in a more nuanced way, and once they started doing that and started developing the characters enough, that's when it started becoming possible to create a secondary show with Young Sheldon, and there's a third show, and apparently they're thinking about making a 4th show. Like they are really squeezing the hell out of it. Why do
people continue to watch this crap? But okay, I'm sorry. We're here to be positive on a Saturday morning. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. But all right, continue. You say we're gonna talk game soon, but you know what? Let's hit him with the 1-2 punch, because if we're gonna talk game soon, then we might as well just finish talking on movies and TV right now. Okay. Because news flash. D23 happened, and with it came a whole lot of conversation and a whole lot of finalizing of some cast members. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about this a little bit.
I didn't see all of D23, so some of this is going to be a surprise for me. I
haven't seen all of D23 either, but I want to focus heavily on, because there are like cool stuff that's happened. Like I've seen the Vision Quest TV show that looks really cool and interesting.
Yeah,
some other trailers dropping and stuff. But like I want to talk about the casting of X-Men, because I'm like, wow, we've been talking about this thing for weeks in the Discord, and they finally just dropped it like it was. You know what I mean? They dropped it. So
and neither of us care too much about this, but just to be able to give it like a line, it's just to say, a new Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer also dropped on D23, and it is essentially incorporating the movie Coco, which was very popular. Like Mexican undead sort of whatever.
Very cool.
Incorporating it into the game. That trailer looked really good. I've never been a huge
visual iconography. Looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, but visually,
I always think
it's
fantastic. Crazy. It's always been crazy for me.
Yeah,
they make the story too obtuse to follow.
Yeah, story's impossible to follow. Yada yada. But so, and on top of that, to finish off the Kingdom Hearts talk, they are also doing a TV show, an original story TV show on Disney Plus and on the Disney Channel that's going to be based off of Kingdom Hearts.
Very nice. Okay. Yeah. They're finally using that property a bit more to its capabilities.
Exactly.
That's nice. Good.
Exactly.
Hopefully they get writers who are better than the writers we've gotten, because it's been a little crazy. So.
In the time of Fallout and Halo and all these other shows either succeeding or failing to some degree, I think a bunch of these companies are looking at video games for their next TV or movies.
Yeah, I think it's becoming more normal place to look at that as now source material, because video games, comic books rather, and video games rather, have also like really gotten some success in recent years. So it may be time for that stuff to no longer be as taboo as it used to be. Maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago.
And they're running out of stories. Like when it comes to some of the bigger comic book heroes, they have already explored a significant amount of the good stories for those characters. So it's either we need to figure out new characters to explore and get the audience to care about, which they attempted at doing that but failed because they didn't have good writers doing that, or we just switch mediums, and rather than focusing on comic books, we're bringing in everybody's favorite game into the big screen or something.
So let's and we'll get to games, because I've been playing some games, and we'll talk about some games too. But the whole Marvel thing popped off, and we're already talking about TV shows and stuff.
Yeah, so D23.
And D23. So let's talk about this for a minute. So they finally announced officially. Wrong screen. What are we doing here? There we go. They finally officially announced who is going to be playing whom in the new X-Men casting. Interesting cast. Some we knew already. Some we speculated on. This is the final number, the final cast. What do you think, sir? I don't know if you've been paying attention to this, or should I announce them to you? Oh, Lucius, I don't know if you're on mute. There you go.
I am muted. It's just because there's an airplane that flew above me, and I didn't know if you'd be able to.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. It was pretty close. I was like, oh, that sounds very close. All right. But I actually haven't been paying attention to the casting.
Okay.
Who's Magneto?
Cool. So, funny, there is no Magneto so far, at least not that I've seen.
See, that's what everybody cares about, because the Magneto storyline is something that they will have to address in some capacity, because Magneto would have to be like 90 something to still be a Holocaust.
Yeah, I remember you guys were having that conversation about how you're gonna keep them young. It's a very interesting place we find ourselves. Real quick, the Great Infinite Umbra drops a 5 this morning. Good morning, my brother. He says, I passionately wanted Jamie Lawson as Storm, but it took me all of 2 minutes to be convinced that the regal and lovely Maya Boyd is perfect. There you go.
Okay, so
we'll get there.
That. But yeah,
he's glazing. You know, yes, he's glazing. By the way, shout out to the Great Infinite Umbra, who with his super chat reminds me that I need to do the housekeeping and say we are getting so close to PAX West. So every single $1 due you can choose to help us defray the cost is so appreciated. Super chats, any of those things, we appreciate all of that. You know, we know times are tough, but we're trying to get out there. We're going to be in PAX West very soon. We're actually talking about housing right now. We're talking about potentially rental cars and things. So thank y'all so much. Any and all donations are welcome. Thank you, Mr. Infinite Umbra, for your $1 due. And because it's Umbra, I'll do the WWB, and we'll keep it moving.
Yeah, we're not as good at shucking and jiving
as Umbra is.
Umbra.
No.
But we do our best. Please support us.
Shout out to the great Web Dave who's in the chat. What's going on, Web Dave? Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. So let me get you put the frogs up. Damn. Let's lay out the cast list, and you tell me what you think here, right? So obviously Sadie Sink, as we knew, right, is already cast as Jean Grey, right? Kit Connor is Cyclops, right?
Which we spoke about. We spoke about how Kit Connor, he doesn't necessarily look like the perfect Cyclops, but
it'll get there. It'll look all right.
He looks perfect right next to Sadie Sink, and I think that's what matters the most. Like as long as Cyclops looks like he would be a compatible person with Jean Grey, I think that's what matters more than anything.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and with these characters figured out, man, oh man, one day we'll get an answer to the question, who's Wolverine? But we're not getting that. We'll move on. Right, but so like I said, Christopher Kit Connor as Cyclops, and then Christopher Abbott, who's right here raising his hand here in the mustard colored suit. He is Professor X, which interesting choice. And I'll zoom in on these people's faces so you can actually really get an idea of this. And then we have Indy Navarrete in the corner there in the black as Rogue, not Rogue, what's her name? The shapeshifter. I'm sorry.
Mystique.
Mystique. I'm sorry, Mystique. There you go, Mystique. And then Maya Boyd as Storm. So
I think that Maya Boyd being Storm is a good choice. She's very beautiful.
Oh, okay. Oh no, I'm sorry. Hold on. Am I wrong? Am I wrong in that? MJ's correcting me. It's not Mystique. It's Rogue. She is Rogue.
Rogue. Okay.
Rogue. Forgive me. Rogue, not Mystique. Okay. Let's keep it moving. All right. Yes. Continue. You were saying.
But Maya Boyd being Storm, I think, is a good pick. This is it's a very young cast. So I think that's still
Maya
fine.
Boyd. You think this is good?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Do you know of her? Do you know of her as an actress?
No, but
like, her IMDb is just like nothing. Like
as it should be, because
I
inherently believe that we need a cheaper cast, a cast of people, because part of part of the reason why Marvel was financially successful at the beginning is because most of the people that they had on cast were either smaller actors who had not gotten the biggest roles before, or there were actors that were, previously were in shame, right? Robert Downey Jr. Had previously had like a federal case on him, and he also was like a mad drunk and drug abuser and all that other stuff, right? So like, and well known, notorious in Hollywood. So like, being given the Iron Man role was a huge break. We remember him from Tropic Thunder, but there's a reason why we don't really remember Robert Downey Jr. from anything else, because he was blackballed from Hollywood
for a long time.
So that's why they were able to get him relatively cheap to play Iron Man, and with all the expenses that you typically have in an Iron Man movie, because so much of it has to be CG, that they're able to get him for free, which made it so that way the movie's cheaper. Avengers Doomsday is probably going to be one of the most expensive movies ever made, just because of like the insanely expensive the cast is. So I say all of that to say, yes, give us these no-name people, because just because they're no-name doesn't mean that they're not.
Doesn't mean they're not talentless. Yeah, it doesn't mean they're talentless. So, yes.
And there are plenty of talented people out there who are waiting for their opportunities, and Marvel just needs to, and their casting director just needs to put in more effort to finding the very talented people that are going to be priced reasonably, so that way you have a higher chance of these films being successful. Like we were talking about this in the Discord a couple weeks ago, but like Supergirl cost like $200 million to make, and it only made back like 150 million.
It was a crazy. It made no money back. No money back. So
but it's like, if there's a chance that you could have made a Superman or Supergirl movie for less than $200 million, like you probably could have made it for like $100 million or $50 million. Like you could have found a way to do that. Use more practical effects to like be able to use less CG scenes. Use something that makes it so that way overall it's cheaper. But $200 million is a hard like thing to cross when it comes to any movie.
Yeah.
You could say you literally use the same exact talking points that we just had here and cross it into video games. Video games are getting too expensive. How do you make them cheaper? The X, Y, and Z.
You're not wrong. So yeah, they've made new choices, right? It's funny if you look at them. I'd probably say between Sadie Sink and probably what's her name, Sadie Sink, and the one playing they didn't choose her, they didn't pick her name here as well, but she's playing she's probably the two of them are probably the most popular, but by and large, like we were saying, they they were gonna go for I'm talking about Samara Weaving, forgive me, for Emma Frost. They were gonna go for, we were always saying that they were gonna go for very, very, very working class, if you will, actors, people who are on the come up, to fill their ranks, to make sure that they can continue to give them work for a good long time. I think that the choices are pretty interesting.
What I'm about to say next is not an insult.
Who's every time somebody says that, you know, the next thing they're gonna say is very insulting. Go ahead. What you insulting?
Samara Weaving looks like a alternative universe variant of Margot Robbie.
Okay. I see what you're trying to say. But I would
now, once again, I think that she is perfect for this role because Emma Stone looks like that.
Yes. But you know what I will say to you on that? I will tell you that Samara Weaving is also a gamer, like a hardcore gamer. So of the two, I'll choose her. I'll choose her.
Sure, fine, good for her. I don't care.
So there you go. Yes. Which no, and why I say that is because if she knows that culture, there's chances are that she will know who she's playing before she got to that role. You know what I'm saying? Like I know that and don't get me wrong, I know that great actors can take on a new role that they never knew before and really, really put their heart into it, and they are great actors and they can make it work. But I always feel like it gives you a sense of a higher level of connection if you've always known that character, loved that character, you know, known what that character is, and now you're getting the opportunity to play her. And I feel like she would have known this character before she goes for this. You know what I'm saying?
There's a good chance.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like, to me, it's like Amani. I forget her last name. The lady who plays Captain Marvel, not Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel. Right? She was like, you can tell she is the biggest comic book fan like in the world. She loves this character,
and they trapped her. And they trapped her in a pocket universe by herself.
Yeah, I know. Crazy, right?
that's how crazy, right? That's how they do black women in Marvel.
Yeah.
They trap them in pocket dimensions.
but as you know, like she was like the perfect person to play that role, because you can tell she has a connection to that role. She looks the part. And she really, really connects to that role because you can see that she was a fan of the role before that she even got a chance to play it, right? So I hope it all works out. But here's Christopher Abbott, who is now playing Professor X. Pivotal role, I would say. Like, pivotal role. Yeah, do you see it?
I don't
know, man. Pivotal role, but you know.
I don't see it right now.
Pivotal role, you know. He's a 40-year-old man, by the way. He's in his 40s. Pivotal role, but he
has a young face.
Yes, but if you look at the IMDb's right now, his is probably the longest IMDb. Hey, shout out to the great Paris Lily. He's in the chat now. He says, "Wait."
We've had previous Professor X's that I initially thought didn't meet the role, like the Days of Future Past kind of people, whatever. That cast. But they did a fantastic job. So like I'm willing to give these people a chance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I said,
I actually think this is the most intriguing one. I really do. I think this is probably the most intriguing one because this
the most intriguing one is going to be the most intriguing one. We all know this is going to be whoever they choose as Magneto. That whoever they choose as Magneto is going to cause the world to go insane.
Sure, absolutely. Now I do think, see, and I didn't give you the full picture because we're going through the list, right? And we've already gone through most of it, and it's cool, right? None of them I have smoke for at all. I think that all the choices are very good. Remember, I said this in the chat in the Discord some time ago. I don't know. I think you might have been with us when we were discussing this. I said that everyone should be relatively unknown, and then maybe you either have the antagonist be a big name, or like someone who is their overseer be the big name. Somebody, a draw that brings everyone, right? Adam Driver is playing Nathaniel Milburn Murray right now, which I think will I think he turns into Essex, if I'm not mistaken, Mr. Sinister.
Yes,
right? Like that's his role. Yeah. Right. So like I think that's an awesome idea. Like that is an awesome idea. Although I would have agreed that Adam Driver could have also played a very interesting Magneto, but okay.
If okay, that's so interesting, because if Mr. Sinister is a part of this like series, then that means that we're gonna see some some characters being tortured. Well, yeah, sure, but no, not possibly, definitely, because Mr. Sinister captures Cyclops.
Yes.
Tortures him and forces him to like forget his past.
Yeah. All that. Yep.
Right. And then you have the fact that Mr. Sinister, depending on which storyline of X-Men, he technically created Emma Frost because of experimentations that he was doing to her body, yada yada. Like her secondary like diamond ability that she has comes from some experimentation that he did.
I mean, Lucius, you say depending on the storyline, but it is interesting that they have chosen Emma Frost as a character, and she is Samara Weaving as well as Sinister, right? So yeah, they're narrowing the storylines. There you go.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be one of those. One of the few storylines where Sinister is a huge deal, like you said.
Oh yeah,
Apocalypse.
Oh man. I'm so excited. This. So I imagine this will be like 4 or 5 movies. Way more as they go on. But yeah. So this is the list they have chosen.
Yeah,
I actually think it's cool. I have no smoke for anybody. Nothing in the list. I see why they chose what they chose.
Yeah. Before we have Apocalypse. Before we have Apocalypse, essentially, like Cyclops and Jean Grey, they need to like be with each other and then break up for like a little bit and then get back together. And when they get back together, they'll have a kid, and then that kid will be forced to be sent to the into the future because Mr. Sinister kidnapped that kid and then injected him with like a techno virus. So like that's the story that leads us into Apocalypse, because you having Cable fighting through time as a way to be able to chase Apocalypse, like that's kind of how you counterbalance it. So it necessarily, you need the couple of movies for Jean Grey and Cyclops to be with each other, break up, and then come back together again before Apocalypse can even show up.
Yeah, this is good. Oh yeah. And MJ's asking, Bishop incoming. I want to see Bishop.
Also, Bishop would also be a great like a character that is happening because of the whole Apocalypse storyline.
Yep. No, this is great, man. This is awesome. This whole thing was so tumultuous as far as what we were discussing, and everybody was talking about it. Like, I really have no smoke here. I think all the choices
great.
Are
I think it's a great cast.
Great choices.
Great cast.
Like, honestly, all of them intrigue me. The one that I'm super, super excited to see is Professor X. I need to see how that turns into. Because all these others, I can see it. It's easy. All these others, it's pretty easy. But Professor X is just a dude in a white suit. Like, he's gonna have to do a lot. You know what I mean? Like, this is gonna be a lot here. He's gonna shave his head. He's gonna have to do a lot. He's gonna, I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's gonna be cool.
And X-Men is in a good place finally, right? Like, X-Men was in such a bad place for such a long time. They weren't in the MCU. We didn't have any real projects happening, in the background. But now we have the Wolverine game that's coming out soon. We have X-Men 97, which just finished its second season, right? Which I think having 9 episodes is so weird in one season. I still have to finish the 9th episode, but I still find it weird only having 9 episodes in a season. Very weird.
Why, you expect more?
I expected either 8 or 12 or 10, but 9 is just such a weird number.
Okay.
But yeah, you got X-Men 97 that's doing pretty well, and then of course you have the X-Men properly being incorporated into the MCU, and all of that storyline happening. Like this is great. And this is this supposed to happen after the new series of movies?
I mean, I'm not sure. In like right now, off the top of my head,
because
I can't
Secret Wars is going to cause a reset.
Yes,
and so there's no point in like getting all these young people, and then you're going to reset everything, right? So this must be after the reset.
Yeah, and this is 5/5/28. So they've already put a time in place. So that means whatever's happening happens before this. This is 2 years from now. Obviously, Secret Wars is next year. So
okay, I was about to look that up. I was like, when is Secret Wars? I'm not sure.
Secret Wars should be next year. So yeah. Okay. So no, I think this is going to be great. This is going to be great. I'm excited for it. I see Paris in the chat was talking about how we should make note that the choice of Storm Coogler was also part of that decision making process. So interesting.
That's
Can't
cool.
wait to see how all that turns into. Yeah.
Because she's going to be a part of one of the newest
Black Panther 3
Black Panther movies. Yeah, and it's so weird to have a Storm, but not T'Challa, unless they're going to try to get this Storm and T'Challa's son in a relationship. But there's a bit of a scandalous conversation. I don't know if I even want to bring it into Front Street.
I mean, we can have this. I have a feeling this is a Discord convo because I need to hear Eastside Vandal lose his ever loving mind when we talk about this. it wouldn't be the same without Eastside losing his stuff.
Black Panther, and correct me if I'm wrong about this. The person who is playing the newest Black Panther, who is T'Challa's son, that actor is gay, correct?
I don't know that. There's been conversation, there's been speculation. I have not seen anywhere written. I think he played a gay character in a TV show, but I don't know that he himself is gay, right?
Okay.
By the way, Kit Connor is bisexual, so there's that. The what do you call it? Cyclops. For what that's worth, right? Okay. But I don't know that he's been outed or he himself has come out as gay specifically.
Okay.
But I think he did play, either he played a gay character or he was a very like flamboyant character in a show, right? Okay. But there's no confirmation that I know of. So
there was conversation about typically Storm and T'Challa get into a relationship for some period of time, but since T'Challa is dead in this universe, are they going to try to get Storm to be in a relationship with his son?
I suspect so.
And it almost seems like there hasn't been enough time passed through the MCU time frame for T'Challa's son to like grow up already. Like the person who's playing him is a grown ass man. Sorry, but like that man's a grown man who pays taxes and everything else. And you're telling me that's T'Challa's son when Black Panther 2 happened?
Well, so
or something like that.
I'll say this to you, like I say it to and we have these conversations. By the way, hashtag join the Discord. We have these conversations on a daily basis. I'll say this to you, like I say to them in the Discord. some folks see the comics as the Dead Sea Scrolls, right? Like the parchment with which you cannot separate, the focal point by which everything must draw, right? Like some people see it that way. Others, and I shout out to you, Eastside Vandal. Others see it as a guideline by which, like, or a sandbox or toolbox or toy box by which they take their toys and they mash them together, right? Sometimes it follows along the source material as it's known, and other times they see fit to do different things, right? So with that in mind, I don't particularly think that the stories that you know will be lost, but they will be twisted. And if you have a problem as a traditionalist, you may have pitchforks every once in a while. Get in Eastside's camp. I have a feeling that the stuff that you're talking about, where it's like, hey, this should happen to T'Challa. These stories will be modified into T'Challa Jr.'s story, and some people will have a problem with that.
But
right?
T'Challa died. Okay, but we saw T'Challa.
Well, I guess the point about the time as far as grown ass man stuff.
Yes,
like there will have to be an addressing of how his son becomes an adult immediately, or how there will have to be an addressing.
It's either some sort of future travel thing, or this is a alternate dimension version of T'Challa's son that's coming into, because you know how the whole Secret Wars get into multi-dimensional fighting and whatever. And so if we're leading to that, then it could just be an alternative dimension version in comparison to the little boy.
I mean, we do have Franklin Richards in the mix, so all things are possible, right?
Oh yeah, that little baby could just suddenly like evolve people to like their peak age.
Exactly. We have Franklin Richards in the mix, and once again, for those, because I believe that this verse in the movies is its own verse that stands alongside the comic verse, right? And because of that, they can take stories or they can go off on the beaten path. That's where your T'Challa Juniors can exist, because they can do that. This is the movie verse, right? But they will dip in and out of these characters that you know for their own use case. I personally think that the storytelling will matter more than anything else, right? Will it follow so closely alongside the original version? Maybe, maybe not, right? Maybe in a comic book version, it's easier to tell for Franklin Richards' story and make it believable, but not so much to regular movie audiences, right? We don't know that. So I'm looking forward to seeing them thread that needle, so to speak, right? I'm looking forward to them really making that work, right? Because to me, the comic books exist and will continue to exist. They don't necessarily need to follow the comics identically to make it work, right? Like look at Thanos. He is not the Thanos from the comics, and it worked damn well. So they can continue to do that, right? So I'm good with that. Real quick, let me catch up on the super chats, because folks want to get in on the conversation, which I always welcome here. First and foremost, we have campaign Oxidus joining us. Thank you so much for being captain. Thank you so much for being a channel member. We appreciate our channel members. Our channel members drive this channel. We appreciate y'all. You help defray all those costs. We appreciate you, sir. Thank you so much. And the Great Infinite Umbra joins us as a member for 28 months. Sir, I know you pressed it by accident, but it's still very, very generous of you to continue to be generous to us, sir. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for continuing to be a member. We have BT Maverick, who's also been a member for 11 months, who says, cast Daniel Radcliffe as Wolverine at this point. Is it just me, or most of the cast, most of this cast would make Tom Cruise feel like a tall man? Damn.
I don't necessarily know how tall they are, if I'm being honest, but none of them particularly look very.
And then the great 108 Dragons TV joins us with a $2 super chat. He says, "What's good, brothers in chat? What is good, Lemon? Hope you're doing well, sir. It's been a minute since we chatted. We need to reconnect with that, brother. It's been a minute." The great Pixel Bit G joins us with a $2 super chat. He says, "Start by fixing this effing name to the right name." What are we talking about, sir? Why are we dropping the bombs early this morning? Please elaborate. I need to know. Start by fixing his effing name to the right name. Oh, you mean drop the junior?
Oh, as in Mr. Sinister, because they're doing this thing where like they're changing his last name to be a different name, but people who know are just like, that's just Mr. Sinister. Like, what are you guys doing? Why does he have this other name? And apparently the story is that he's using that name to like, not get caught. Because he's like
to obfuscate.
He's going around doing his machinations.
And then we have 108 Dragons with a $5 super chat. He says, comics time frame is all over the place now. All of a sudden people are time masters. Stop it. Hey, look, this is why I'm saying at the end of the day, they're allowed to have their verse. It can't sit alongside the comics verse because that's a different thing. By the way, because once you join us, you are always welcome to jump in and add your takes to the mix. He wanted to jump in, and he's always welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, Paris Lily. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
Very good, man. Very good. What's up, man?
Hey, I had to jump in as I was catching up on the conversation. Y'all answered a lot of it, but they're just going to use Secret Wars to reset things, the stuff that they don't want to address. Oh, Franklin just changed that, and the stuff that they want to keep, they'll keep, right? So that's why you got Jean Grey already in the 616. So mutants are already in the 616, and obviously they'll have some explainer on Charles Xavier and why mutants weren't, more prominent prior to this. But the whole T'Challa Jr. thing, and I know we argued that last week, they're just gonna hand wave it in Secret Wars. They are. They want T'Challa to come back, and we talked about it already. They want T'Challa to come back, but you still want to honor Chadwick, so it's gonna be the son. You're gonna age him up somehow in Secret Wars, and then they're just gonna move forward.
See, the age him up part, that's the devil in the details, sir. That's the devil right there. Age him up real quick. Is this gonna be another one of those Franklin? Oh, he touched him and now he's old.
And look, I get it. It probably, honestly, won't be a satisfactory answer, but you know what? At some point, just like in Austin Powers, you just got to look at the camera and go, just enjoy the show. You know what I mean? Just move on from it. I would rather them get past Doomsday and Secret Wars, where they can essentially reset the MCU, integrate the X-Men into this universe, and just move forward. And obviously the storylines that they want to continue, they'll continue, and the ones that they don't, they won't. I would assume at some point we're going to get a new Iron Man, a new Captain America, all this stuff eventually. But I think the focus is going to be on the mutants. So when I look at these castings, I'm all for it. They all look pretty solid to me. I really don't have any real complaints. Let me say one other thing.
Go ahead.
What Lucius said before, the Magneto thing is critical. Whatever they do moving forward, if they got to nail Magneto, I would love Lee Pace, who was in Guardians of the Galaxy, is what's his face? I'm blanking on the name. Ronan, the Accuser.
Yeah, the Accuser.
They probably won't do that, obviously, but they got to get that type of presence, I think, for Magneto for all this to work.
I mean, why not bring back what's his face, Fassbender?
I thought about that, but he's
not bad, man. He's not.
He's good. He's good, but it seems like they want a fresh
great
start.
In Foundation, by the way, he's great in Foundation. So he is great. He's a great actor. Yeah.
And don't forget, he's an Invincible now.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is absolutely true. That is true. That's true. Let's see. 108 Dragons with a $2 super chat. He says, Paris, aka the podcast crasher. Love it. Well, this podcast, anyone who has an invite always is welcome to crash. You're welcome to jump back on because we never change the link. So you always just jump on. That's what we do here. So you're always welcome to jump back in. We appreciate your takes. Let's see. So, all right. So, do we think that there has to be a Magneto in this verse? Like, there has to be?
Yes. You have that. His relationship with Charles. You have to have that. You can't go away from that. Now, and I said this on Twitter the other day, and it kind of blew up a little bit. And I said in the chat just a second ago, I don't want Wolverine right away. I think
I agree.
You get 3-4 movies in before you bring in Logan, because I think you need to establish this X-Men team. They are a team. Establish the Jean and Scott relationship, right? Before you, because look, Logan brings all his own issues into the mix. I don't think you need to do that right away. So I'd be fine with that. You can keep Hugh Jackman for a little bit and kind of an alt universe with Deadpool for a little bit. Then you bring in Logan.
And you know what? Slow-mo Backslap said this, and I'll give him credit for it. Like the singer verse repositioned Logan in a way that was not necessary, right?
Nope.
And I appreciate everything that came before it, because I'm a student of history, and I know that before they show up, if they don't show up, then we don't get what we get, right? So I will appreciate that. So like, I have enjoyed the Singerverse, and I will continue to champion that they exist, and they should be respected to a certain extent. But this now offers them an opportunity to reset things, right? So to your point, if they don't bring him about, and they, to the point of there's 3-4 movies in, they establish the characters, they establish the team, the relationships, then when you do bring a Wolverine in, you can then reintroduce him to the new audience in the way he should have been introduced, as a side character rather than the focal point that he's become.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. And another thing about the singer, look, Hugh Jackman was obviously such a great presence in there. I kind of get why he was like, hey, we're just gonna go this direction. But you know, Scott Summers is that dude. If you read the comics, Cyclops is not to be trifled with. So he was so underutilized, and it looks like they're gonna try and redeem him somewhat in Doomsday. So I'm excited to see that. But yeah, Cyclops is not to be trifled with at all. So hopefully he gets his flowers in, in this X-Men reboot.
Indeed. I'm being questioned here. Eastside Vandal continues boot on next season. He says, Kay, where's the pushback? We don't need Magneto. They can just make it up, right? No, that's not it. That's not it. Look. We live in a world where we have seen what do you call it? Venom movies without Spider-Man. We have seen Morbid Time. We have seen lots of crazy combinations, or the lack thereof, that surprised. So if they're going to make a movie without Magneto, I wouldn't be surprised. My question is, do we think they should? I don't think they should. But as you can see, they went through this whole rigmarole of announcing all these great characters, and clearly some have been omitted, right? Because I don't think this is an X-Men movie. To make it a real proper X-Men movie, there wouldn't only be these formidable X-Men. There would also be their counterparts, right? Which have not been announced.
Okay, so here's what I will say. I think that you can have a maximum of one movie without Magneto. If you want to establish these people as a team, and you want to establish Mr. Sinister as kind of the big bad for that movie, and establishing, like, because you got to establish characters, their dynamics, how they play with not just each other, but with the world, right? How the world is treating mutants and how they have to navigate all of that stuff. You have to establish that in the first movie. So I can see them not introducing Magneto for the first movie, just so that way they have enough space to establish everything else,
to give him the space that he needs when he is introduced. Yes.
But that is all necessary to properly set up the stage for Magneto's arguments, right? Like, you got to spend the first movie making the average Marvel citizen hella racist. You got to make them insanely racist against mutants. And so that way, by the second movie, when Magneto shows up, the audience understands Magneto's point. So
you know what? Let's bring this talking point. Let's bring this question up, because we've talked about this a little bit, but we haven't had a chance to chat with you about this, Paris. What do you think of this? Okay. As of now, and Lucius knows where I'm going, because he's been having this debate in our Discord for a little bit about it. As of now, right? And we know there are multiple variants of all these characters, but as of now, I would say, and I think you would not argue, that the most successful version of Magnus, right, has been Eric Lencher, has been the one that's been connected to the Holocaust, right?
Yes.
But as they're growing this character, and as they're resetting and rebooting this verse and bringing new young characters, actors in to play them, it makes that Holocaust tie-in more difficult to make. So, how do they continue this character's lineage? Do they somehow continue that, making him old somehow? Because eventually he'll have to be over 100 years old for that connection to continue to tie. What are your thoughts?
So I'm gonna tell you a personal story on this, so you'll understand why I'm gonna give this answer. I years ago dared to say, make Magneto black. Make him black. Make it right. And the internet barbecued me over that.
Damn right they did.
And I say this because I was 1,000% wrong in the sense that Magneto's philosophy and his thought process is tied to the Holocaust, is tied to his Jewish lineage. You cannot hand wave that away and then put that into a different, a different culture or whatever, right?
There are versions of him that were not Jewish. This is not
no
always
one, but my point is, no one cares about those. That's what I'm trying to say here. You have to stick to that version of Magneto, or no, that character will not be accepted.
That brings up a very interesting thing. I was saying this as well, that because for better or worse, these movie verses have established something in the mind's eye of the viewer, to the point where whether you like it or you don't, like you're saying, Magneto is Jewish, even though there were many versions of him that weren't.
Yes. Because
that is now in the zeitgeist and the mind's eye of the moviegoer. You have to stick to that version. So too are other decisions that the Singerverse have made that you can't just reset at this point, because the mind's eye of the consumer really still has that. Wolverine was one of those, right? I feel like that I have faith that they will be able to transition from that. But I do know, and I didn't even have to speculate, because when you check this out on X, the first responses underneath this announcement are people going, "Where's my man Wolverine?" Like, people are still expecting that because that's what they've come to expect. It is what it is.
I'm with you. Go ahead. Sorry.
So I was just gonna say. So what do you really think? Do you think that they are just going to make up a tragedy and be like, all right, well, this is where his backstory comes from.
Yeah.
Let's move on. Or are they gonna try to use a real life situation, which I think, just based off of the way that everything is politically charged now, and it would be a landmine to try to be like, oh, for example, this Magneto is associated to like October 7th or something like that. Like,
no way Disney touches
terrible decision.
Disney won't touch it. Here's my thought on this. I just think, and again, just enjoy the show kind of thing, stare at the screen. Because he is a mutant, you could essentially say he was around during World War II. He was born, and he's just what 100 years old, or however at this point, right?
Basically, everyone lives older than 200 some odd years old.
Well, I mean, obviously Logan does. So I mean, that's the point.
That's what I was gonna say. Logan has a healing factor. That's the thing. Part of his thing, right?
Yeah. No, true. But this is what I'm saying. It is going to be so tough to say he doesn't have that World War II lineage, the Holocaust, all that. How do you do it? Yeah.
How do you continue to tie it to him when he's in a world full of young people and he himself is a young man at this point?
Yeah. Hey, God bless him. That's why they get paid the big bucks.
This is tough, right? We've been scratching our heads about this for weeks. Like, how the hell do you do this?
Because we
agree with you.
Yeah.
We wholeheartedly agree with you that he is now intrinsically tied to that version of him, because that's what people love. Just like
him and Charles
Nick Fury,
have to have that friendship. Yeah.
Whether you like it or not, Nick Fury is Sam Jackson. That's what he is. You can't change it. That's what it is, right? But how are you going to keep that going when you expect this stuff to be young men? and you tied it to that specific event that now is further and further and further away. He ain't gonna be 80 years old when he hits the screen.
And do you also agree you have to walk and I agree with what Lucius was saying. I don't think you necessarily need Magneto in this first movie. I think maybe you acknowledge his presence is there. Maybe he cameos at the very end, but I do think it's critical that there's already an off-screen established relationship with him and Charles. Like that was there's already that there. They had that friendship, they had that disagreement already. And then whatever the events happened in the first movie, obviously, like you said, the kind of the racism towards mutants, you bring in Magneto in the second movie, you know, as a counter to everything that Charles has been trying to do.
See, so and by the way, ladies and gentlemen, for those watching, this is not me poo-pooing or disregarding this. This is me excited to see how they thread it, because like I said, I think that this verse should be able to stand alongside the comics and all the others, right, as its own independent thing that can draw from the comics, right? But because the comics now has multiple versions of Magneto who all can stand, and because Paris, to your point, in the movie version of it, the only version that matters is the fact that he is Jewish. It'll be interesting to see how they make this still continue to work, because if they don't, I think people will come out with the pitchforks, right? People will be like, how the hell can he not be Jewish, right? I get it, right? So it'll be interesting to see how they do it. I'm excited to see them thread it, you know. It's awesome. It's awesome. 2028, we shall see, you know.
If they wanted to thread the needle while simultaneously making all sides mad, what they could do is that they could say, hey, he was actually a Palestinian Jew.
Oh boy.
And he escaped during October 7th. And like,
oh boy,
you get all sides mad. All sides.
So you're going with East Side Vandal. I get it.
Mickey Mouse,
Palestinian.
Mickey Mouse likes money. There's no way that's happening.
There's no world.
Yeah,
there's no world where they're doing.
Think about it. They even, because remember the last Captain America movie, she was supposed to be Israeli, the Black Widow in that movie, and they had to essentially rewrite all of that because they wanted no parts of that controversy.
Yep, that's true. Although, you know, times have changed since then, right? The perception in the market is a totally different thing than it used to be. So, you know, we'll see.
Can I bring up this one other thing? Just again, this is my own personal beef with 2028, because 2028 obviously is going to be a very big year for Marvel, which is great because you're getting 3 movies. You're getting the X-Men, you're getting Black Panther 3 in the December time slot, as it should, because it will be a big prestige movie, as we know. That movie in the middle, I kind of got problems with it. I do.
Which movie is this?
And it's Ghost Rider. And it's not because of Ryan Gosling, and it's not because of the Ghost Rider character. It's because, let's keep it 100 here, that should be Mahershala Ali and Blade. And we all know it. It's interesting that movie can't get made, but y'all sure as hell green lighting and Ghost Rider. Just saying.
So at this point, this is where the Kofi should have come on right now. Like we should just focus on that Kofi cat. I feel you, sir.
Yep.
I do feel you on that. Yeah. It is interesting how for some weird reason, you know, Mahershala has to step aside, but they somehow find a way of greenlighting. Because
let's be real, they're going to use Ghost Rider to introduce, and for lack of a better term, the horror side of the MCU, right? Which is great. But come on, we know that should be Blade.
They could have used Blade to do the same thing.
Yes, exactly.
The same, absolutely, yeah. They could have used the Blade to do the same thing. They had no reason not to. So it is what it is. You know, I do think there will be a Blade that will be introduced at some point because he is a known character. He's a known commodity. The question is, are they going to wait until that name no longer holds weight? You know, I don't know.
I don't know. I think Wesley Snipes was a prophet. I'm starting to think that.
Man, he was a prophet, bro.
Either a prophet or he went to a voodoo doctor and like asked for some sort of juju to be put on the Blade name, because it is not only affecting the film side of Blade, but it could also potentially be affecting the game side of Blade, either because of the Microsoft Corporation, deciding to go in a different direction, sort of thing, or it could just be, the project is having issues because we haven't seen it in a little bit, and obviously the whole Microsoft thing. So I honestly, I'm scared for the Blade game, as excited for it as I was.
Yeah. Look, the fact that it exists to me to this point is still like a miracle. Like, a lot has happened since that game was announced, and it still, to my understanding, still stands. So for me, it's just, hope and prayers, hope and prayers that this thing lands. This is as far as the Blade game is concerned. Let's quickly catch up on a couple super chats, and we'll continue forward here. We have Alvin9033 with a $5 super chat saying, "We have to give them some grace on Magneto's story, or else we'll never get any Magneto stories post 2040. It's comics. Let them have some fun." This is my point. Exactly. I call some of these people traditionalists. They have to have it exactly as they remember it in the Dead Sea Scrolls. And I'm like, it can't happen that way.
I think
he's getting too damn old.
Like, I think their problem was connecting Magneto to a real life thing in the first
place. Yes.
Like, you should have never done that.
It was both the best and worst thing, right? Because it really connected people to that character. It was an awesome look. They did a great job doing that. But that also makes it it makes him a reference of his time. And the older and older time passes, now you got to either reset that or make him kill him.
You were brave. You were brave back then when you established him as like a character that had like a real life thing happen to him, right? And but now apparently you're too cowardly to make him also associated to another real life thing that would be the same parallel, right? Like what other opportunities do you have to be able to
there would most likely be other situations in the real world that would really
very few times do you get a situation where there's an apartheid state in the world.
No. I don't mean like that. I don't mean like that. I mean the formula, the horror formula that comes together that radicalizes an individual to the level of Magneto. Like, I think that yes, them tying it to the Holocaust was a stroke of genius for its time, because it really did connect him to the character, connect people to that character rather. But if they were bold, I'm not saying it's exactly the same. I would never presume to say that. But if they were bold and they want to continue to keep the fire of that character alive, there are many newer tragedies that they can tie him to and make that formula work.
But the problem is that the group that he was previously associated with that previous strategy.
Yes. Now they feel like they have ownership of it.
They have ownership of the character. So
which is not true, because there are many instances of the character that exist before that.
But if you were to make him let's do something slightly less controversial. If you were to make him Moroccan, for example, we have the Moroccan tragedy right now that's happening between Morocco and Morocco and Spain. And
but frankly, Americans, and let's be clear,
but Americans
would not. Okay,
this is where I was going, right? That same group, as well as many like them, would not be okay if Magneto wasn't a particular shade of color, much less a particular religion. So when you even if you don't take into consideration the religion thing, because you got to take into consideration how they're going to react with the shade of color, then there are very few.
Zach Riley says they could use 9/11.
There are very few tragedies that affect people of that shade of color that you could use.
No, I get it. No, but I guess
unless you want to make him from Ukraine, you could make him from Ukraine, maybe.
The point here is if creativity and evocativeness and boldness is what you're going for, which is what the essence of Magneto's character has been.
Then make him Palestinian,
for a long
is
time.
what I'm saying.
But this is the point. This is the point, right? There's two paths to walk here, right? There's the path where you're just trying to make everyone happy, and then there's the path where there's real creativity, which is the essence of that character.
Yeah.
Like there's the milk toast version, and then there's the real version. We know they'll use the milk toast version, but it is interesting to speculate on how the real version would go, because there are many other places you could take him, right? There are many other places you could take him that would still emphasize that character and the essence of it. Shout out to Hollywood Rules with the $2 super chat. He says the groundwork from Mag and Prof to be Malcolm and Martin. We've been saying that shit for years, have we not? But they're not bold enough to do that. They couldn't do that, right? Because to your point, people will be like, well, we already claim ownership. But at the end of the day, we know that the essence of that character has always been the yin and yang of it, right? It needs to be re-represented whenever possible. My question is, how do they break what exists and establish new? Because what exists is tied to an event that's people who are there are getting older and older and older and older all the time. So it breaks mental credulity a little bit. So it is what it is. But yes, let's continue onward here. The great Hollywood Rules continues that on with a $2 super chat. He says Magneto will be Doom level treatment. Which, what if they did that? Right? They set up 3, 4, 5 movies where the big bad is Magneto. Do you guys disagree? I'll give that to you, Paris. What do you think?
I think possibly. I mean, clearly they could do that, but Magneto's relationship is so complicated with the X-Men and humanity, for that matter, that I don't know if you set him up to be a Thanos level, obviously Dr. Doom level type villain where you're building up to something. I think he's a consistent presence within the universe now, where he's going to do some really messed up stuff at times, but he's also going to do some things that you're going to root for, that you're going to cheer for. So no, I don't think so. I think if anything, you're building to Apocalypse. That just would be the logical thing with the X-Men. That would be the ultimate way down the road Thanos level villain that they're going to have to deal with. And at that point, obviously Charles and Magneto are going to have to put their differences aside and work together. I think that makes more sense, in my opinion.
The great 108 Dragon with the $2 super chat. He says Marvel's scared to move forward, drop old actors. Hey, they are doing some of that, right? They are doing some of that, but they are scared in other ways, as we are talking about right now. I think they should go hard on it. Forgive me, big pause. This has been in Malcolm and Martin kind of fight for a long time. I'm not saying they should specifically do Malcolm and Martin, but if you're gonna make the Magneto a militant character, continue to make him a militant character, right? You already have a formula that works. To Paris's point, right? Tying it to the Holocaust has worked. Don't be afraid to tie it to a new horror event, because there are many that you could tie it to that would still connect with humans very, very well. They're just kind of scared, I think. But yeah, so there's that.
They're scared.
And then of course
they're scared of tying. And this says something about our society. They're scared of tying the atrocious event with the people who experience the atrocious event. Like there's like a fight to not humanize the people who have gone through those things, and that is why there would be such a huge pushback if you were to make, because once again, the best parallel that we have in our world right now to what happened in the Holocaust is happening right now inside of Gaza. I don't mean to make this hyper political, but if you are trying to compare it as a 1-to-1, that is the closest 1-to-1 that we have. And the fact that Hollywood won't touch it is indicative of the fact that they don't want to humanize the people who are going through that tragedy. And that's just incredibly cowardly. And I don't
think that's the main reason why they do that, but
that is not who Magneto is about. Magneto is about boldness, And if you want to express the character in the way that like properly makes the character, you choose something that properly represents the tragedy that character came from, and that 100% would do that.
Yeah, and that's where I think that they are establishing a different structure for themselves, right? They want to please everybody, and some of these characters are not inherently not made to please everybody, but they're going to try it out, they're going to thread it, and I'm interested to see how they do so. It will be interesting. So it is what it is. But yes, let's see here. Thank you guys so much for all the continued support and the super chats and all that. Like I said, all of it goes to defraying of the cost of us traveling. We're going to be traveling in a couple weeks. We're going to be, getting hotel rooms and all of this stuff, and going to check out games and stuff for PAX West. Yes, Paris, we will not be coming to Gamescom, and we already know. I already keep getting emails about coming to Gamescom. I'm not at the level where someone will defray those costs for me. So maybe next year I'll try again. I know you ain't got to slander me for it. I know every time I say it, you're ready to slander me for it. I will not be at Gamescom. I will not.
I'm gonna just say this. I got all my appointments and everything for Gamescom, and yeah, you're gonna wish you were there. That's all.
Oh, you son of a. See what he's doing? He loves doing this, and then he won't tell us why. He won't tell us why.
I can't. NDAs and embargoes. I can't say it.
Yeah. That's right. Of course. But this is the reason why he gets to do this, so he can slip under the I can't embargo thing. All right, cool. Anyway, shout out to Great Soil Tech with a $2 super chat. He says, please like, share, and subscribe. I don't say that enough, so he puts in super chats to remind me. Thank you. Please, if you haven't done so, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. We do this every week, rain, sleet, or shine. We try to, so thank you guys so much for your continued support. Alvin continues his generosity with a $2 super chat. He says his past could tie into something about Doom, something to Doom's about to do. Interesting.
Maybe.
Yeah, something in world, right? How about it be tied to the snap? Because that was an in world, like, huge event. Like, right? It should be able to be tied to something that can continue to endure.
It needs
beyond.
It needs to be a tragedy. It needs to be a tragedy. It needs to be a representation of human beings treating each other as less than, treating each other like trash, and that's why the Holocaust was a perfect example of that, because it was an example of where human beings were treating other human beings as if they were nothing, as if they were expendable, because they thought them lesser than. And that is a almost one-to-one parallel as the story of like Homo sapien sapien to Homo superior, right? With the mutants, they treat the mutants as if they are less than, as if they can experiment on them, hear them scream, hear them cry, separate them from their families, stomp on them, cut off their limbs. It doesn't matter because they aren't human. That is their perception, and that's why the Holocaust works so well. And so, like, if we can't just connect it to the snap, because as terrible as the snap was, it was not judgmental, right? It was random. It wasn't specific to specific ethnic groups.
No, I get it. I get it. Like, it needs to be vitriolic to human nature than anything else.
It needs to be the very, very dark side of human nature.
Yes, I get that. I get that.
And there are real life examples of that, but they won't touch them.
True. This is the thing where we're like, you could continue the lineage, but you probably won't. Cowards. Anyway.
Yeah, they're being cowards, straight up.
Yes. Erodimus with a 5. Shout out to the great Erodimus, also a wonderful member of our community. He says we had an event in the late 90s where there was an ethnic cleansing in the Croatian War. Yes, like there have been many a crazy event that could be referenced that really could tie people to that event, right? Like to that character. And again, that's not where that character originates, right? That's not how it originally was. But when they transitioned that character to film, they made it this way to really tie and connect that character's like plight and his militancy connected to humans, right? And that's what has worked. So I think they should continue doing so, right? And they shouldn't be afraid to disconnect the previous tragedy to the next tragedy, because tragedies continue to happen. Have that boldness. Be bold about it.
The reason why the Magneto character works so well is because the audience can somewhat understand his point. They don't.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They don't have to agree with him, but like they can somewhat understand it, and that's the same reason why you can, no matter what race, culture, whatever, if you are a normal feeling human being that has able to feel for other people, you understand the plight of Magneto, and you also understand the plight of somebody like Malcolm X, because Malcolm X, the reason why Malcolm X was as radical as he was is because as a young boy, a bunch of white men showed up in his house, dragged his father outside of their home and killed him on their lawn in front of the family. And that, on top of a myriad of other atrocious things that has happened to him in his life, made him as militant as he is, because he has examples of how people treated him and his people as if they weren't human. So like that is the reason why characters and people like that, even if you don't agree with them, you can understand where they're coming from, because their past allows you to be able to see the way that they see the world, because of the way that the world treated them.
And by the way, there's a reason why those characters have very close ties to some other like famous or infamous folks, because their inspirations came from them. Like if you ever actually read or check out some of the histories about how they came to be, how Magneto came to be, how Professor X came to be, they are an amalgamation of the freedom fighters of that time. A lot of them similar to what's going on now. So a lot of those ties bind very closely. So that's why it's again a great idea to tie the source of his anger, the source of his being, to that real life event. But again, they want to endure the IP. They want it to move forward. They want to do new things with it. If you want to be able to do that, you cannot tie it to an event that is now moving on and on and on and becoming even older and older and older in the minds of the youngins, right? Of the petulant ones, as they were, right? You need to modernize it, otherwise it will disconnect from your subject audience, right? And like the kids who come and see it won't have the same connection with it anymore, and he'll have to be too damn old for it to continue to work.
Exactly. And to respond to Erodimus, like he's just like, well, Croatia versus Serbia is known as like the modern day Holocaust. I would disagree with that fundamentally. Sure, I do understand that there was some ethnic cleansing that happened there, but the two examples of our modern world that I would point to is either Gaza, or I would point to Rwanda, because in Rwanda that was like hundreds of thousands of people wiped out.
And we're gonna leave that one to Discord conversations, because I know we could go off, because we do we have and we do, but leave that one to the Discord. We'll move forward. We'll
move to the next topic.
That's right. But yes, needless to say, shout out to all the people who are chiming in. We appreciate y'all keeping the information lively and the conversation going. I, for one, buttoning up the Marvel conversation, am super excited for what they announced here. Cannot wait to see what they do with it. I'm hoping that it is something that we can continue to feel like 10-year-olds as we get into our old gray beard years, watching them continuing to bring our superheroes to the big screen. I think this is awesome. So hopefully it works out. I'm looking forward to seeing how it ties into Black Panther and all of that. So good stuff. So because we've already started down this path, let's just continue down this path, because we're having a good time already anyway. And we're talking more movies, but not really movies. This is movie and TV, and it does tie into video games. And this is what I was talking to you about before. And of course, let me cancel that. This is what I was talking to you about before, Lucius, before we started the show. And the question was, I asked Lucius if he knew the studio Night School Studios. And most people might not know Night School Studios, but you will know Night School Studios when I say Oxenfree, which is one of their most popular games that they made. Yes,
this
they
is gonna
made
be a sad
Oxenfree.
story. This is gonna be a
Yes,
sad
it
story.
is.
Yeah.
Can I jump in really quick because I'm going to need to make my exit. But
go ahead,
I will simply just comment on this, and you guys can deep dive into it. Yeah, this is terrible. With that, Netflix is essentially hit the escape button out of gaming as far as this goes, because I really thought Netflix was going to be essentially a safe place for AA games, that we would start to see a lot of those come out of there. And I know a lot of people that left other studios and went to these Netflix studios under that premise, and now it's all gone. It sucks. Really does.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yep. This studio, to me, and I loved what they were doing, very unique, right? It was full of gameplay, but it was still very accessible. The Oxenfree series, the first and the second, and they were, shaping up to do other interesting things. Some people would call them walking simulators, but they were using different methods of gameplay elements the what do you call it? The radios that they were doing to connect to various undead and all this. It was the whole thing. They were doing really interesting things, and it looks like, exactly to Paris's point, it looks like Netflix is pulling the ripcord and trying to get out of gaming, and they closed them very, very few months after they released their new offering. They seem to be out the door now. Lucius, I don't know if you knew this studio, if you care about this studio. I was a very big fan of this, and I'm very disappointed.
So I do know of the studio now that you mentioned Oxenfree and everything, but I'm looking at this from a larger perspective. Netflix as being like it is a very unfortunate situation, because on top of the larger studios being affected, specifically, I remember Carrie Patel from Obsidian.
Mm-hmm.
She is the director of Avowed.
Yep, and then she went to go work for them. Her and Joe Staten.
Yes. So I wonder where both of those people are now that Netflix seems to be moving away from gaming to some extent. But simultaneously, while this is happening, Netflix is also paying Rockstar an ungodly amount of money to show GTA 6. So I really don't know where it seems that Netflix is still very much on the eyeball game, where they want to interact with eyeballs. And so they're gonna pay for things like GTA 6, which are like literally one of the most anticipated games of all time. But it doesn't seem as if they're willing to pay for the studios and the games themselves. So very interesting.
So because you mentioned that, I will ask you to expound, because you brought that up. So that'll segue into another interesting thing that I saw. And shout out to the great Paris Lily who jumped in, who had to peace out. Appreciate you always jumping in and lending your voice to matters. Appreciate you, sir. Let me hit you with this, because I know how Lucius feels about all this. I know how Lucius feels. I know how Lucius, how much ire that it was raising Lucius to hear that this was coming to pass. A GTA, the first visual elements of it or whatever would be shown via Netflix. Now it looks like they're going to be expanding it through multiple episodes, like 3 episodes.
Bro,
what say you, sir?
We got DLC for trailers. What is going on?
Keep going. And my child is in my office. I'll be right back.
Honestly, this blows my mind, because like how greedy do you have to be? And I also have to ask, how many places are these things going to be? An extended look for GTA, it's the only look outside of teaser trailers. We've literally seen nothing about this game. We haven't seen the game running on any console at all, despite the fact that the game is only going to be sold on console at release. We haven't seen it running on a console. We haven't seen the deep dive of the game at all. And on top of all of that, you're telling me that the deep dive that we're going to get is going to be split into 3 episodes?
Indeed.
Yep. And are those 3 episodes all going to be on Netflix, or is GTA 6 going to get the bag from different places? Imagine them getting it from Netflix, Paramount Plus, and Disney Plus.
So supposedly this is a Netflix mine. It was listed under Netflix. They temporarily listed it. Episode 1 had 23.37 minutes. Episode 2 had 24.41 minutes, and episode 3 had 18.29 minutes. And which would make this whole thing about 70 minutes of content.
So does each one have a 6-hour exclusivity period as well?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that part. All I know is that they saw this. They saw like it was temporarily listed and then it was taken down. So I don't know if each of them becomes like the episode 1 comes out and then 6 hours later it gets released. Episode 2 comes out 6 hours later, it gets released. Sounds like it. Maybe that's what happens.
No, right? I think what's going to end up happening, if we actually end up getting 3 episodes, is that episode 1 ends up releasing, and then let's say 2 weeks later or 3 weeks later, episode 2 ends up releasing, and then 2 to 3 weeks later, episode 3 ends up releasing, and then by that period of time, it'll be 2 to 3 weeks before the game comes out. So this is a PR rollout before the game is released.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shrewd move there, Chief. What do you think? I know how much you hate this.
This is it's as if I couldn't hate it more. They found a way to make this situation even worse.
To make it even more egregious, right?
The only way it could get even worse is if they said, all right, the 3 different showcases are going to be in 3 different places. So it's going to be Netflix, Paramount Plus, and Disney Plus. So you're going to have
3 different subscription services you are not currently subscribed to.
Just so that way you can watch these essentially commercials.
Yeah, basically. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I for one, I'm solely in the camp of I do not care. Show me all you want. I will let the FOMO wash off me like a duck's you know what. Y'all have already priced me out price-wise. So peace out.
That's because you've already chosen not to buy the game. So because of that, you don't care what they do. But
I don't care if they resurrect Michael Jackson and make a moonwalk on the damn cover of the game.
And see, here's the thing. Looking at that. You're only saying that because you know that somebody else in the GCP sphere, inner circle, will play the game, and then you can bring them into the show so that way you can get their opinion about the game. Because when that game comes out and it's the talk of the town, whether or not you've played it, you have to have a conversation about it.
Sure, absolutely. But see, the best thing about about my position is it doesn't have to be everybody else's position. I can call on my brother Infinite Umbra.
He's already tap dancing over there.
That's right. Or anybody else who chose to play it, and we'll have the conversation. Look, I'm sure the developers did a great job here. I'm sure they really, really, really dig deep and transcend the formula. They're trying to do something interesting. I am the one who has sold. I have bought Everborn Saga a copy of GTA 5, which he rejected. Right? I think they do good work and they deserve to be respected and seen. Right? But what is happening here from a financial perspective, I cannot, in good conscience, stand behind. So I will not. And that's why I am where I am.
There is such a thing as there has to be such a thing as enough money, right? Like Rockstar themselves had said, we have seen such an incredible amount of pre-orders. We were not expecting to have.
They weren't expecting people pre-ordering all the $100 editions, right?
And,
which I mean, let's be clear.
This has all happened way before they even showed anyone anything.
Yes, but to be clear though, and even Strazelnik, I think, acknowledged that, like, that is the hardcore base, and you know that they're the ones that will pre-order without seeing anything, right? And they are also tangentially the ones that will also pre-order the $100 edition because they've heard that the $80 edition is gimped even in the slightest way, right? Like the normals may not care about that $100 to $80 conversion, but the hardcore definitely will. So if they're the ones that are pre-ordering more, chances are they're pre-ordering the $100 edition. So
I would dare say that they have already made their money back on the pre-orders alone.
Hey, this is Grand Theft Auto we're talking about.
And we know that GTA 6 has cost a record amount of money to
make. Yeah. Like it is on track to, what was it, $1 billion production?
Yeah, it was on track to be $1 billion.
Yeah, it was $1 billion, and that's not including that's not even including the advertising once you factor that in, you know.
I've heard that they've already made 1.5 billion in the pre-orders alone already, months away from the game even coming out. They've already made 1.5. Now that could have just been somebody, you know, saying shit, you know, who knows, but that is that's what those are the numbers that we've been hearing, and I believe it. Like GTA 6 was at the top of the Xbox and PlayStation store for weeks after it was open up for pre-order. And I imagine a couple weeks before that game comes out, it's gonna rise back up on the top bot list for even more pre-orders. Because once you start actually showing the game, the hype will increase dramatically. Because I
want to see it on the console, man. I want to see it on the console.
Yeah, you have people like me who have not purchased it yet, only because I'm waiting to see it on the console.
See, and to me, seeing it on the console is far more important, because this is a game that's only going to release day one on console, right? If you have multiple versions of it, it's releasing all the different places, and you only have the PC version for now, just to kind of show people what they can expect, I will allow that. But if the only version you have releasing day one is console, then that's the version that you need to show, right? People need to see that. It's not fair if they don't. So, and this is not even a dog that I have a fight in, because I'm not buying it day one because of the price point. You know, so I still think that if you are here and you are discerning and you are a person that takes our advice, I would say wait, see what they have to show you first. You know, be very discerning in what you're doing, because what they're doing is they're using your FOMO against you. It sucks.
Yeah.
You know,
and I personally am doing everything that I can to not give them any of my money, because I'm working on a $100 Xbox gift card. I have 4,334 points to go. And I have, you know, about 2-3 months to work on this. So I have some time. I'll probably hit it, and then I'll have $100, and then I can buy the $100 version, and I would have spent $0 on that. But
for those who aren't aware of what that is, and that's probably very few of you who aren't aware, this is the rewards program that Microsoft offers for the people who use Game Pass and the like. Well, even without Game Pass, you're part of that, but Game Pass offers double rewards and whatnot. The more you play, the more rewards you get, and then the rewards themselves can turn to gift cards and other things. I think I'm at for my $100 gift card, I'm at 54,915 points of 100,000 points. So I'm a little over halfway there, and that's because I actually pulled out $100 from it maybe 4 or 5 months ago.
If you're somebody who consistently plays on both Xbox and PC, and you play inside of the Xbox ecosystem, that's where you really get an absurd amount of points, because like it's like you get 5 points every day or something like that. It's like very small, but you doing it consistently, it builds, and like there's this weekly bonus that gets insanely high. Now, I haven't been playing inside of the Xbox ecosystem enough to like keep that consistent, but I know people that like every week they're getting like 1,000+ points because of the consistent bonus that they get.
Hey,
and that 1,000+
I didn't
points
even get a chance to
like
talk
an
about
extra 1,000 points that they get on top of everything else.
I didn't get a chance to really talk through it, but I've been playing Beast of Reincarnation, so I've been getting a lot of those points as well. I haven't been playing it on the console. I've been playing it on the PC, but I've been downloading the Xbox version. So I've been getting. I think I got like a bonus $500 points. This week.
Yeah,
stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
If you play on either just PC or Xbox, you get a good amount of points. If you play on both, you get an absurd amount of points. Like, but to really do that, like you got to be really into the Xbox ecosystem to be playing in their ecosystem on both ends of something. So
well, but these days it's easier to do than it ever has been, because now even console players can have their Xbox allies as a thing they play in bed or something. So now you're playing both on console and you're playing on the PC technically. Right? And that covers both spreads. So it can work out. It can work out. Pretty cool. So before we get out of here, and we're gonna get out of here a little shorter this week because there's a shorter show. There's not too much going on, but I do want to talk about this because it did come out and people were talking about it, and you got a chance to play it. This is Phantom Blade Zero. They did release new information, new footage. I know it's not going to be on Xbox day one. I think they said it was a 6-month window or something like that. I did hear something about there being an exclusivity window. So after that, presumably it will be on other consoles as well. But yeah, there's a Donnie Yen was featured in the game and all that. What say you, sir? Talk to the people about your experience playing it. You got a chance to go hands on with it for what was it, an hour? In the June showcase. Yeah. Tell the folks how you came away with this game.
All right, so
and I'll put some of the footage that they put on the screen here. I'll see about putting that.
The good, really cool combat. Okay. It makes you feel like a badass. The game looks really good, and the weapon variety is extensive.
Okay.
So that's the good.
Okay. What's the bad?
The bad for me personally is this game does this thing a lot, and like this is how the combat works, where you press one button and your person does a bunch of different stuff. And it depends on what type of like gamer that you are, but I want more interactivity. And one of the things that was really good about Crimson Desert is that everything that you saw in the trailers, you were able to do, not because you like pushed one button, but because there was a combination of different buttons that you had to push inside of a very particular sequence. And if you had specific things equipped, then you would do crazy stuff, right? But there was a lot of conditions to that. In comparison to this, where I feel like a lot of the cool things that I'm doing on screen are not because of me. And so so they're not cutscenes or no, it's not like they're cutscenes. It's hard to describe, and
they're not QuickTime events either.
No.
They're like pre-canned combos.
Yes. But like and it's very hard to describe, and I think that a lot of people might be hearing what I'm saying and they're like, what is this guy talking about? And I get that. You have to play the game to be able to see what I'm talking about. And that could not even be a bad thing for you. You could play the game and be like, hey man, I don't see what he was talking about. Like, I love this game. And that could be great. But for me, I don't like that as much. Why
don't you like that? Is it because it makes it easy? Is like give me some details.
It's not about
the
difficulty, because this game definitely has difficulty scaling, and you can make it a lot harder. But it just it's more of like, it just doesn't feel like I'm the person fully in control of the character when I press one button and they do like 3 different things, right? And when I mean 3 different things, I don't mean 3 different things based off of context. I mean, I press one button and the person does a backflip, then a slash, and then an upward slash. And I'm like, I pressed one button. Why did he do 3 things for me pressing one button? It's kind of crazy.
And I think they also had like modifiers that then allowed the same button press to do different things.
Yes.
Too.
Yes. There's a lot of complexity inside of the control scheme. So don't take what I'm saying as, oh, this game.
It's not an auto battler. It's not simple. It is very complex. Very complex.
Yes.
But every button does so much that it also helps, and at least this is my opinion, and I agree with you on this. Every button does so much to help you feel like, just in general, at the beginning of it, while you're getting your feet underneath you, you feel like a badass with every button press, because you're just like killing fools left and right, because you have so much agency and so much capability with every button press. But to your point, it does seem like it takes the control away from you, in that it's got all those pre-canned motions based on those specific button presses. But you learn very quickly that those guys that you feel so badass about right at the beginning, that is fodder. Because soon enough, you'll hit the bosses.
Yeah.
And man, oh man, those guys, it will put you on your butt consistently.
I think I fought like 2 or 3 bosses in the hour that I played. Mm-hmm. And the bosses are hard. They definitely show you like where the complexity of the combat really gets into the fray. And you can do animation canceling, so that way, like, if you're stuck in an animation, some animations allow you to like get out of it, so that way you're not just doing a bunch of stuff while somebody's attacking you. But it is I will say that, like, depending on who you are as a gamer, you are either going to be pulled more towards Phantom Blade Zero or pulled more towards Onimusha, because Onimusha is way more, you press one button, you do one thing, that's it.
It's more tactile. It's more one-to-one, more traditional. Tactile. Yes.
So like, if you want that incredibly tactile feeling, I don't think that Phantom Blade Zero will give you that feeling. So if that's but the game will make you feel like a badass, and if that's what you want, then Phantom Blade Zero will give you that.
Yeah. See, I do agree with you in that I feel like Phantom Blade has a lot more sizzle, and Onimusha will have more steak, if you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. But that's not to disparage any of them or each of them, because they each do what they do uniquely well. Are you drinking from the same cup I am right now? That Xbox black cup?
Yes. I think I am. Yes.
I heard the same clanking. I'm like, he's using the same cup I am.
You got to stay hydrated. You got to stay hydrated.
That's right. Anyway, I said this before and I will say it again. This game looks like it's shaping up to be something special. People are gonna like it. People are gonna really, really like it. It's gonna be really awesome.
I think that the biggest challenge for this game is going to be the biggest challenge for all games, is going to be getting people's attention. And September, which I believe this comes out in September. September is a crazy period of time for games. If, depending on how you count it, you know, what you consider games, yada yada, there's somewhere between 27 and 147 games.
We'll get into that. Let's get into that before we get out of here. Before we get into the September onslaught, though, because it is an onslaught. And by the way, here's some gameplay for this. The game is awesome. Oh yeah,
the game looks great.
The game looks great. It's awesome. It's a badass simulator, is what it is.
Yeah.
You just feel like you feel so good playing it right from jump. That has been one of my big problems from these kinds of games, where you always feel like you're on the back foot until you learn some of the systems. This makes you feel empowered from day one.
What this game also has is the Black Myth Wukong situation, where sometimes you're getting your ass beat by an enemy, but the way that they're beating your ass is so entertaining. Like you're seeing
you just keep trying again.
You're like enjoying watching yourself getting destroyed.
Oh yeah. I remember playing one of these one of the previews where there's a dude who's holding what can only be described as like a spinning disc that can cut your head off at any moment.
Yes,
almost Kung Lao, and like I think I beat him the third time. The first two times, cut my head. Like he was able to put the thing on top of my head and twist it off, clean off. I'm like, God damn, this is so cool. Like even when you're dying, you're just like, man, I need to see that again. It is a awesome looking game. They're shaping up to be something interesting. So I'm excited for it. I know it's not going to be on Xbox for a while, and I know people going to have complaints about it. It is going to be on PC, I think, and it's also definitely going to be on Steam and also Epic. Yeah. So for those who want to play it there, you can play it there. I am looking forward to Phantom Blade Zero. It is going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to it. Before we move forward, I once again will thank you all. Thank you all for continuing to rock with us. We're going to do about two and a half hours today. And I will thank you all because my man, Mr. Everborn Saga, was not able to join us. Had some family matters, as it were, and of course, family first always on these shows. But the show had to go on, so of course, the great Lucius Augustus decided to step in and help us out. We appreciate you being here, Lucius. Always, thank you, sir. And all the folks who've been super chatting and all that stuff. As you know, those go to defraying all the costs that we are going to be incurring soon enough. So thank you all so much for continuing to be generous. We appreciate y'all. Before we get to this,
I don't want to move on too quickly from that. I want to.
Yes.
I do want to say thank you so much for anybody who super chats between now and essentially next week, because that's going to be huge. I know that some of you who might be listening to this afterward don't have the ability to super chat then and there because the broadcast is already over, but you can put super thanks underneath the video if that's something that you watch. Obviously, if you listen to it on Spotify or any other podcasting thing, you can't really do it there. But thank you so much for anybody who's able to support. It is going to help. Any amount of money helps with the whole situation. And of course, Mr. Too Opinionated comes in with a $2 super chat and says, "You're not welcome." Okay, well, I'll just leave that.
That's hilarious. Anyway. But yes, to put it on Front Street. So as y'all know, we've been moving and shaking in the gaming circle. We've been doing it both in the podcast and the website. We have a lot of folks who are contributing, assisting us. Lucius himself has been more than monumental in his assistance and wanting to help us grow. Doing a lot of writing.
All have full-time jobs. Like this is not. Right. It's not like our main thing. This is like something that we have to do on the side when we have time.
Yes, indeed. Right. He's been doing a lot of writing for us. He's been doing a lot of like putting boot to ass, as it were, trying to get us where we need to be.
Getting interviews. I hope that you guys enjoyed that interview last week.
Yep. That was all like by and large thanks to Lucius. Working the numbers in the background. So we're all going to be heading towards PAX West. So I don't want the man to always be digging into his own pockets to make sure that he's able to join us and help make this great. So hopefully all of these super chats will go to making sure I make him whole so that he's able to travel with us as well. So this is why we're always appreciative of all the help you do. Yes, I see Mr. Too Opinionated is in there. He says, awesome interviews, great work. He puts on a good show. Did a great awesome interview last time in June when we got to chat with the folks of what do you call it?
Obsidian and Grounded.
Obsidian and Grounded, right? So we're planning on doing a lot more of that now. So all those costs will go there. So thank you guys so much for your continued support. And yes, Erodimus, we know you will be heading towards Gamescom. We are very jealous right now.
Actually, Erodimus, since you're going to Gamescom, maybe we should work with you to see if you can represent us as GCP, and you can get yourself a media badge and actually get access to some of the stuff in the background. Get in touch with us over the next couple days so that way we can try to make that happen.
I've been talking to him about it. We'll see what we could do. It might be a little late now because we should have been doing that a little earlier.
Yeah, but I mean, he just told us about this now, so like, there's only so much that we can do, right? We could work with some of our contacts, some of our Swedish contacts, if you know, and then see how we might be able to get you a media badge.
Yeah, indeed. Before we move on and talk about September, because it's a bloodbath before we get out of here, I wanted to talk to you about Wolverine. Did you see any of the Wolverine stuff that came out?
Yeah, so Wolverine looks like Insomniac was told, hey, we ain't making games for $300 million anymore. All right. so like, whatever you're thinking about doing, I'm gonna need you to calm down a little bit, because that fight between Wolverine and the Sentinel, specifically that fight, that looked very boring. It looked like every other fight we've ever seen with like a big character, and those are just very boring, right? Like, those aren't like great things to watch. Those aren't typically not fun. And I will say, we've been shown multiple times by different developers how to make a great fight with a big character, right? Like with a gigantic character. We've seen Shadow of the Colossus, for one. Like, that game, you are only playing against gigantic characters, and the aspect of like, and Wolverine is known to use his claws to like climb up big characters if he needs to, and like stab them in the neck and chop off their head. Like, so that's what I would expect to do as Wolverine fighting a large Sentinel. But the fight that we saw, like, and you could just type in Wolverine versus Sentinel, and that it'll pop up, and people will see what I'm talking about. But it just seemed kind of blasé as a fight, and we honestly need to just have something better, because we've experienced better in the past. And for a big budget game like this,
no, it's not showing me. It's old.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
So this looks like every other fight that you've ever had to. Oh, it's a big guy. He puts a limb down on the table. You fight the limb. So, it's just
the thing about this, like, and honestly, like, and I saw people on YouTube literally like do side by sides with many other games who've done exactly this before, right? This is not and I saw people defending it. It's tried and true, whatever. This is not to say that this is terrible or anything.
No,
it's to say that it's
More.
lazy.
Yeah, I expect more from Insomniac.
Right? Like we are at a place in technology now where anything and everything that you've seen Wolverine do in the comics can be duplicated.
But here's the thing.
Action.
X-Men Origin Wolverine, the game
already did that.
Already did this fight, this exact fight, significantly better. And that game came out like 20 years ago.
Yep. Even though let's not be wrong here, they also did take a lot of inspirations from that game. The leaping mechanic and all that you see in this game came directly from that Activision game.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Why am I not leaping towards him? Why is it that I'm having this fight?
Yeah, why are we not climbing on his various aspects of him to get to, yes. It's not great.
Like
It's not
it
great.
should,
No.
the battlefield should be a much larger space where the sentinel is actually moving around and like attacking us with missiles or whatever, and we can we should be able to lunge on top of them and like focus on certain parts of him. Like I could like focus on a leg, and now he doesn't have both of his legs, and now he's like kind of crawling, and his fighting style changes. So like that's what I expected, and I didn't expect anything revolutionary. I expected something good, and what they gave us was something bare bones.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And there's some more footage of it. When this whole thing started, I was initially not particularly enthused about the way that he looks. Right, I will still play it. I'm an Insomniac fan. I will not I'm unabashed. I enjoy what Insomniac does, but I will say I've been worried that in the newest iteration of what Insomniac has become under Sony, it's kind of lost its way a bit, and this is speaking to that for me. It's more salt mine energy, if you know what I'm saying, right? Where it's not really as creative as it used to be. They found the tried and true formula, and now they're iterating and using that formula. Which, hey, there's nothing wrong with that, but some people will actually be saddened by that, because before, whenever they came out, they would show you something whiz bang and new, and now you see Spider-Man when you're looking at Wolverine, right? You see a bit of that. Right. I also wasn't too big of a fan of the look of Wolverine. I felt like he needed to be a bit more comic accurate versus looking like the actor. Right. It doesn't deter my excitement for it or anything like that. It's just one of those things. Shout out to Umbra. He and I have been going back and forth on that. I think he's seeing more of my side of things now since the newer footage has come out. It looks a little more. I think he's starting to understand what I meant by that a bit more. But yeah, it's cool. I will be playing it. This is one of the September games that I will be playing. Am I like over the moon about it? Not particularly, but that's more to do with a lot of the changes to the verse that they've done, X Team and all this other stuff. I'm like, huh?
X Team is so dumb.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's okay if the X-Men don't exist, but why must X continue to prevail? Everything becomes X. Like, stop it. It's just ridiculous. It's goofy. Make it a different team.
In X-Men 97, they got the X
make a
Factor,
reference to
the
it.
X Team, the X Corp, and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So, it is what it is. But anyway, so it doesn't change my excitement for it. September 15th, I will be playing it. I frankly, I wish it was on PC, because I feel like on PC, I would like enjoy it more on PC. Who knows? But it is what it is. This is some footage from folks who got a chance to see it. I guess this is, what is it? Based Pie Rush. Shout out to the Based Pie Rush YouTube channel. So this is some footage of it. About 20 minutes of footage. You'll see a lot of footage out there. They some of the criticisms that I've heard about it is that the combat, like even though the other games historically, as far as Spider-Man games, you had more tools in your tool chest, right? You could do a lot more to disarm your foe or to get rid of your foe. This is just higher and higher levels of striking, right? So you have a lower level of strike, you have a mid-level strike, and a higher level strike. And the higher the level strike you go, the more wild he gets, to the point where at some point, if you're so high and your rage meter is up, the whole screen turns gray and you're just like shredding folks left and right. All you see is them and their blood, and everything else is gray. And you're just like, it's cool, but it looks like in the late stage of the game, it might be more repetitive. At least that's what people. Yeah, here's footage of that. Look, let me hold on. Let me go back a little bit. And this is from people who have played it. See, so here's the third level of like complete rage, where you're just shredding folks. But people have said that, as you're playing it, like unlike Spider-Man that gives you so much ways to dispatch your foes, this always ends up being some method of slice and dice. So it does get a little boring. But see, I like what they do here, where in game somebody stabs you or shoots you with an arrow, and in game you take that arrow and you stab the other person, another enemy with it, right? So like stuff like that. Clearly very gory. You can see that it does take its inspiration definitely from the Activision game. But yeah, there are some decisions they made that I'm just like, I'm not sure this is a good look. So it is what it is.
And let's make it clear, this game looks beautiful. Great looking game.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But it's just, it's more of like some of the, like for example, like what is this like weird, I'm running towards like a red smoke thing.
The red smoke. Like, follow the red smoke. Yep. Well, because this is a chase scene, right? So presumably you're running, you're chasing running to where the bad guy wants you to go. I guess very strange.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it makes certain things difficult when trying to make this Wolverine game, because a lot of it's just going to feel like playing a gimped Spider-Man in a lot of ways. Because what makes the Spider-Man games really great is how the level of agility that Spider-Man has. So I don't know. We'll see. We
shall see. Yeah. This is Spider-Man. This is Wolverine, right? People have been wanting this character, and people have been wanting this.
And it's Insomniac. Insomniac knows how to make good games. So, like, worst case scenario, the game.
Even Marvel Salt Mines Insomniac is good Insomniac. So we'll see what happens. You know, I'll be there. I'll be playing it. But yeah, people. I've been hearing a lot of mixed results. Right, the fanboys are defending, of course, as they do. But those who tend to play it or are in the middle of it tend to be a little bit not as glowing as I would expect. So we'll see, but yeah. All right. So let's move on and talk about this before we go.
And this game comes out on September.
Why the hell 15th. Is Troy Baker in everything? Look at Troy Baker. He's like literally in everything.
Yeah, he has to be in everything apparently. But this game comes out September 15th. Literally his face. Yep, September 15th,
which adds to the onslaught of what will be the like crazy games coming out. Like as we were talking about, depending on what lists you're looking at, it is insane. I have 42 games I'm looking at right now. 42 games I'm looking at right now. And by the way, I'll ask the chat to get involved. I want y'all to tell me which, at least 2 games you're playing for September. 1 or 2 games you're playing for September. Everyone has 1 or 2 games. And I suspect that we'll see the pattern where those 1 or 2 games will not be the same as anyone else's, because they're about 42 plus to choose from. Let me give you some of these. Let's see.
Which ones are you gonna play specifically? Let's focus on that.
So I've made my at least I made my choices very clear up until now. I said 2 games. I probably will play 3 games. I don't know what the 3rd game will be.
We know you're going to be playing Control Resonant.
There right? We go. That's right. Right. That's my number 1. But that comes out late in September. That's why I have to make other choices, because if it was coming out in the beginning of September, nothing else would matter. I'd be playing that, right? But it comes out, I think, September in the 20th to 23rd or something like that. So before that time,
will you be playing the PlayStation version of it, which comes out a couple days earlier than all the other versions? Okay, so you're going to be waiting a couple days to play the PC version.
I'll wait a couple of days and play the PC version. Yes, because ultimately, like if it's on a library that will endure with me, I will play it longer. Like for example, Control right now, I've been replaying it.
Bro, you don't even have to tell me. I'm a friend with you on Steam, and I see that game pop. Kay Asante is playing Control. Bro,
I've been playing Control for a minute.
What is happening?
Yeah, I've been playing it for a minute because I'm getting ready for Resident, right? And it's just available there. If you play it on a console that then becomes dead or moves on, or they have some funny money with their library, now you got to rebuy it. It is what it is. So I'll be buying that on probably GOG if they have it, or Steam if they don't. So there's that. But the 3rd game, there's a lot going on, bro. There's a lot. Ace Combat 8 is coming out. Trine 6 is coming out. Silent Hill Townfall is coming out. I mean, come on. Like, there's so much. Dune Awakening is coming out, right? For those who are excited for the movie. Dune Awakening, September 22nd, coming out. There's just too many games too many games. Warhammer 40K Dawn of War is coming out September 17th. You know, what games do you have on your list, sir?
So the games that I have on my list, Control Resident, I want to play, but I don't know if I'll have a chance to. I have Animo that's coming out on September 15th. That day, we got a release date for that as of a couple days ago, so that's exciting. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave is one game that I want to play. We're really excited for that. Unfortunately, the same day that Fire Emblem Fortune Weaves comes out, I believe, what is it? Trails in the Sky second chapter is also supposed to release, and both of those games are like 100+ hour games.
Yep. You want me to hit you with a few more of that? Moonlighter 2 comes out on September 2nd.
So like that's another thing. I love Moonlighter and Moonlighter 2 because I was playing Moonlighter 2, the demo / like it's in whatever Xbox calls their like early access
preview. Yeah,
but like
same day, Aerial Knights, Mr. Freezy comes out same day, right?
Orbitals comes out on September.
Orbitals comes out the day after.
Yeah.
Right. Orbital comes out the day after. Same day that Orbitals comes out, so too does Avatar Legends, the fighting game, which will be on consoles.
Well, that's when it comes out on Xbox because it already comes out on everything else, but the Xbox version had been delayed. So now, it's looking like September 3rd is going to be the
and if you think September 3rd is bad enough with the games that are already coming out,
Blood of the Dawnwalker also comes out September 3rd. Yeah.
That's right. How about Blood of the Dawnwalker? Right? How about Blood of the Dawnwalker?
And then the day after that,
the day after that, Onimusha comes out. How about that? Like, what are we doing right now? This is just insane. What are we doing?
Nobody has.
Why are we subjecting ourselves to all of this? This will not go well. Like, this just our wallets cannot handle all of this.
September 10th, game that we were very excited about, Screenbound. On September 10th.
Yep, Screenbound is September 10th, right? And you'll play that for maybe an hour, because then another game will come out on September 11th.
Yeah,
it's just crazy right now. It's crazy right now. I don't know, man.
If you have a full-time job, if you are in a relationship, if you have a family, September is going to be impossible for you to play even half of these games. And this is what I'm worried about. When there are this many games releasing this close to each other, financially, how well do any of them do?
Yep.
The bigger names like Marvel's Wolverine that comes out on September 15th, that has a higher chance of like absorbing more people because it's a bigger fish. But there's only so much that you can do. And there's only so much money that the consumer has. Yep. So like for me, like I can't worry about Marvel's Wolverine because the game that I'm concerned about when that comes out September 15th is going to be Animo. So I'm going to be playing that. Yep. But I only have a couple days to play that because then Fire Emblem Fortune Weave comes out on that day. And the same day, so does Trails in the Sky second chapter. Like, and it's absolutely crazy. And these are not like, nothing games. These are big games coming out back to back to back to back.
Yeah, it is kind of wild. So I'm asking that you all need to like check your wallets because September is going to make sure you no longer have any money. I have to ask y'all, and y'all tell me what you think in the chat, and let's continue that conversation in the Discord. Shout out to the great Soul Tech for always putting it out there. Let people know. Join us on discord.gg/TGCP. We need to know what you're playing. What you play in September, because man, oh man, that wallet is not going to be safe in September.
And you know what's crazy? I don't think any of this is Game Pass.
No,
September is a crazy month filled with games that you have to buy. None of them are on a subscription service. None of them. All of these are like, give me money now.
Yep, absolutely.
And guess what?
Absolutely.
And guess what? A vast majority of them deserve your money. They are good games.
No doubt. We are transitioning to a phase where we're not being saved by our subscription services anymore. We used to be saved by our subscription services. That is slowly coming to an end. You know, I will say though, like some of the September games, because there's a lot, some of the September games will end up coming to Game Pass. You will be saved by maybe one or two. I mean, I'll even say, at the risk of it, Beast of Reincarnation. You ain't got to worry about that right now. But there are other games coming out in September specifically that will be coming to Game Pass as well. It's just the list is too long to go through right now. But yeah, be prepared.
I'm going to be spending, I think, so obviously we have PAX West, and that's I'm going to be spending all types of money over there. But I'm thinking I'm looking at like somewhere around $500 at least for me in September is how much I'm looking to spend on video games.
On games? Oh boy. See, but you know what? You should not spend $500.
I'm not even going to be here for when Orbitals releases, because I'm going to be at PAX West. Same thing with Onimusha Way of the Sword. I'm not going to be here when it comes out. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be at PAX West. So I'm not going to.
So I will give you this advice. I'll give you this advice that I would give anybody else. You know you'll be playing those games. You know it, because they're all games that are worth your time and worth your money. But if you buy them all day one, knowing you're not going to play them all day one, you're just spending needless money.
Yeah.
Right? Put them on your wish list. Keep them tight, and then let them be ones that you buy over time as your time allows. Because by then you'll eventually get them anyway, because you know you're going to play them, but you're not paying top dollar $80 day one. You're paying maybe $40, $50 because deals.gg can help you 6 months down the line or whatever. Right? Don't buy them all. Don't let the FOMO get to you. Don't buy them all day one, because you're spending the most amount you can ever spend on them. Doesn't mean they go away after that. They're still around. They're just cheaper eventually.
And typically we all know that there are very specific time frames in the year that don't have any games releasing, right? Like July is typically like a dead zone for video games. December, also another typical dead zone for video games. January, a lot of times a dead zone for video games. So like during that period of time, that's when you're gonna have an opportunity to catch up with your backlog. And this year, so many good games are coming out. I wonder how the game of the year conversation is going to, like, where is that going?
Oh yeah. Yep. It's going to be a very interesting conversation to be had, man. That game of the year convo, I don't foresee it being a very easy one to be had by anybody. So yeah.
And this is the first year that I actually have some sympathy for people in the media, because even if this is your job, there's no way that you're going to be able to play all these games to be able to properly know to be able to choose for game of the year.
Yep. No doubt. But I think that's it from our perspective. I think we've saw, we've conquered. We're done here. The news guys were kind of mid this week, which I think is a good thing, because these days, whenever the news guys provide, they tend to provide bad news. So, being that everything's quiet, I'm happy with that. Lucius, I appreciate you being here, sir. Thank you so much for always, supporting the GCP and getting our back, as it were. You're going to be with us. We're going to be boots on ground at PAX West, and everybody who's been super chatting and all that, but happen to defray those costs. We thank you so much, Lucius. Tell the people where they can keep up with your ongoings. I'll be in the Discord soon. Will you be there, sir?
Yeah, I'll probably be in the Discord in like an hour or two. I probably want to watch a show or something, get in
Mhm.
between, you know. But
Indeed.
but yeah, like catch us in the Discord. That's gonna be the place and the time that you'll be able to like interact with us. If you don't like the things that I'm saying, then you can catch me in the Discord and
That's
talk
right.
about how much you dislike what I say.
That's right. You can
And
talk
you
all
will-
the smack you want. That's
and
right.
you will, yeah, and you will be allowed to say what you want as long as it's respectful, right? Like we're not trying to like, you know, go crazy.
Mhm.
And you'd be allowed to say your opinion. If you don't agree with me, you know, whatever. That like this is the place to be able to disagree with people without hating them, right? We can have those logical arguments. You can disagree with me all you want, and as long as you're respectful, you know, we'll be respectful. You know, but if you take it there, we'll take it there.
So in other words, if you want to go toe to toe with the petulant one, you know where to find us. Discord.gg/TGCP. It's all good. We always have great conversations there. Obviously, Mr. Everborn Saga was not able to join us today. He'll be back. But you'll also be able to catch him there as well as all these other great individuals that we chat with on a daily basis in both audio form and through the podcast and all this other stuff. Also, keep a close eye on the website, thegamingcircle.com, where as we head towards PAX West, you will start seeing a lot more articles flare up on that site. We're going to start doing our previews. A lot of focus on indies when it comes to PAX West. So we're going to be talking to a lot of those indie devs, people trying to do interesting stuff. You know, that's what we like. So we're going to be pulling that and trying to get that on your radar. But yeah, otherwise, there may be some interviews that you'll see happening on this channel soon. I've been invited to some other channels that I'll mention another time as well as the time draws near. But yeah, that's it from us. Thank you so much to Paris Lily as well for jumping on as he does. Always appreciate him lending his voice. But that's it. Lucius, anything else from you?
No, that's pretty much it. Just thank you guys for all of your support. Over the next week, we'll be kind of collecting everything to help defray costs. I still need to figure out a hotel situation, but I, as much as I complain about the cost of these things, I do love going to these events and talking to these devs and getting as much information for you guys as possible. So please check out the website. New interviews are going to come your way very soon, so please
stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned for all of that.
Yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Until next week, we'll be back. Keep it gaming. Peace.
Nice to be in orbit.